Hello everybody, so we're going live again today and I've got an amazing guest lined up for today and we're going to go live now to do an interview. So thank you everybody who's coming on. My friend Hugo, he's just arrived now, so I'm going to invite him up. I've heard this guy's story and he's on an amazing mission to protect and restore the world's oceans, so something that I'm sure is very important to all of us. So I look forward to you guys being here and listening to my friend Hugo's mission and story and vision. So thank you for being here and let's invite him up now. Let's see what I can do. Hugo, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How's everything?
It's good. I'm in London, my hometown. I've been running around for some meetings for work, which has been a good day. The beautiful day outside. The springtime here. The blossom is looking good in London. It's been a good day. How are you? You're in Peru.
I'm in Peru, yeah, so it's similar to you. I've got lovely weather here. Can't complain. It's absolutely beautiful here. I've just had some amazing lunch before coming on this live now. So yeah, I'm set. I'm ready to go. So as I mentioned, Hugo, to you, and I'm just going to mention to some of the viewers now as well. I'm sort of outside, so it could be a little bit windy and a little bit noisy. So if that's the case, Hugo's going to let me know, and we're going to go from there. But with all these things like Instagram Live, there's always going to be teething problems. So if anything does pop up, guys, just bear with us and we'll make sure it works. So Hugo, if you just want to check, I just want to hear you speak again because it was a little bit crackly there before we start.
Hey, look, that all sounded perfect to me. We could just hear a little bit of the Peruvian atmosphere in the back there, which is all good. It adds texture and flavour to the conversations. So all good. Is that good for your end?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. I just want to make sure with the guys on the live now, it's a little bit crackly on your side. Do you have like a different Wi-Fi or a different connection you could make at all?
No, I'm on the Wi-Fi. It might have been how my phone was. Let's just check if I'm going to move it around. Let's see how we're going. How does that sound? Tune out and tune back in?
Yeah, at the minute, it sounds good in a minute. So let's just go with it and we're going to make it work. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming on. And like I say, this is my friend Hugo here. And I want to invite him here today to share a bit of his story, his journey, his mission. Because like I mentioned, he is on a mission to protect and restore the world's oceans. And it's such a big, important thing for all of us because it's so necessary for us here living on this earth. So Hugo, thank you for being here, my friend. And yeah, I want to kick it off and start by asking you to explain a little bit about who you are, what you do. Maybe talk a little bit, Hugo, about growing up through, say, childhood and what inspired you to get into what you're doing today. And sort of what took you down the journey, or what did you have to do in order to get to where you are today as well?
Well, look, hey, thank you so much for having me on to talk to you. I've been following your story and your journey. You made Peru, and you've just been to the Galapagos, I know, which is, the sort of, the birthplace really for a lot of my sort of inspiration, really. This epicenter of biodiversity, an epicenter of thinking and innovation around how we've understood the natural world around us. Of course, Charles Darwin and his incredible journey with eagle to the Galapagos Island. All people that well, always almost by the wild world around. Growing up.
Hugo, I just need to stop you, my friend, just because it's not even coming out. It's getting very, very, very limited signal from your side. I want to make sure that anyone can hear you because I literally can't hear a word you're saying. Now and again, it pops through. Do you have?
You know what?
Can you go onto like 4G or something
Let
on
me
your phone?
tune straight back in, okay, Brian? Give me 2 seconds. How do I? Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, people. I don't know if you could hear Hugo there. Give me a wave or a shout if you could hear him or not. Because for me personally, I couldn't hear a word he's saying, and I don't want him to spend his time here and nobody be able to hear what he's saying. So, people that are on the live now, just bear with us one moment because he's going to come back. And can you please let us know if you did hear him or not? Because on my side, it was very, very difficult. I didn't hear a word he's saying, so I didn't want anybody to miss out on what he's saying here. So he's coming back. Let's see if we can get him again, guys. Bear with us a moment. I did mention we do get some sort of TV problems with this on live interviews. Hugo, you're back, my friend.
Now look, let's see. Is that any better, Ryan?
At the minute, it's fine. That's perfect at the minute. So let's go with this again. But yeah, what I didn't want to do is you explain about your story there and nobody be able to hear it. Because I literally could hear 1 or 2 words come through. So let's hope it goes okay.
Let's hope that the bandwidth has sort of settled down. It's good to be here with you. And I was sort of rambling then, and maybe you picked up on some of it. You know, you've been on this amazing journey that I've been following to the Galapagos, and seen the incredible wildlife that's there. You know, this home of biodiversity, this home of incredible wildlife that you can get really close to and witness firsthand, and the place that Darwin made all of his incredible discoveries on his voyage with the Beagle. Something that inspired me. I was inspired by lots of naturalists as a kid, and writers, of course Attenborough, people like Rachel Carson, you know, just incredible people and thinkers. And I was, as a kid, inspired by the natural world around me. I spent endless hours looking for stuff in nature, reptiles, amphibians, collecting old birds' eggs and nests and things I could find, probably stuff that I probably shouldn't have even collected. But it was the 80s, and it was a different time, and I had a room filled with things. I had this wild area at the bottom of my garden where there were bats and frogs and newts and snakes and foxes, all sorts of things. And it was there that I fell in love with just the outside world. And then on sort of trips with the family to the coastline, where I'd collect all manner of things and spend endless hours in rock pools and scouring the tide line. And so my first love was always the nature. And to this day, you know, if I see you know, an animal that's, you know, that I don't normally see, you know, owls or badgers or whatever, you know, I'm enthralled, and I love exploring, and that's sort of my first love. And then sports are my sort of second love, and particularly surfing and swimming in the sea, and those things combined really are a potent mix that have led me a long way along my sort of career, and with what I've done with different charities, and what I do today with Oceana, where I'm working on campaigns to protect and restore the ocean in the UK, and with my brilliant colleagues around the world in Peru, in Chile, in Mexico, in North America, in Canada, in the Philippines, people around the world fighting to protect and restore the ocean, to stop big industry like industrial fishing, like oil and gas, some of the most devastating industries to affect our ocean. We're all fighting in this amazing organization to stop the damage and to restore our ocean, because we all depend on a healthy ocean. Whether you live in London, where I am today, or whether you're in Peru, or whether you're in Manchester, or whether you're in Edinburgh, or whether you're in New York, or Bangkok, or whatever, we all depend on a healthy, thriving ocean for the oxygen we breathe, for the temperature regulation that it brings to the earth, for the protein many people eat, for all sorts of reasons. And so we are intertwined. Our health is intertwined with the health of the ocean. So we've got to restore and protect this amazing blue planet we live on, 70% ocean.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us, friend. And yeah, I mean, like it's such a huge mission that you're on. But like you mentioned there, like it's so important for not only the people that say enjoy going to the seaside or to surf or to do water sports, but it's something that's going to affect the whole world, like for everyone. Like you mentioned, whether you live in London, whether you live in Lisbon, like it doesn't matter where you live. The oceans
No,
or the health of the oceans is important for everyone. So a question that I sort of want to lead on to, Hugo, would be for anyone listening that is maybe going down their own sort of path or purpose or to follow their own mission in life, whether it's some sort of mission that's so much bigger than themselves, like say your own mission to protect or to restore the world's oceans, which is huge, by the way. How important would you say it is to, number one, surround yourself with other people going the same way as you, and number two, what would you say is the importance of living a purpose-driven life or a mission-driven life?
it's a good it's a good question. And there's a huge there's a huge benefit to finding something you're passionate about and finding things that you can inform yourself around, whether that's through formal education with your exams and with university, or whether it's through informal education through the relationships you build, the networks you build, the jobs you do, of course, professionally can lead you iteratively to the place you want to be. But if you choose something that you're passionate about, it can really make your everyday that much better. That purpose that you have, that thing you choose to do. After all, you're going to spend a lot of your time at work. You're going to spend a lot of your time around people in that business. And if those people believe the same thing as you, if they pointed in the same direction as you, if they share the same values as you, it's going to be that much easier and that much more rewarding for you. Work will still be work, but it might not feel as much like work every day. You'll see progress towards the goals that you share with other people. And for me, being able to work on environmental issues, which I've done for the past 20 years or so, is a huge privilege. I've get to work with amazing people in the surf industry, in the environmental industry. I've got to, share the stage with David Attenborough, with amazing people that were my, inspiration as a kid, with world champion surfers. I work with a brilliant group of people at the moment in Oceania internationally, but also the team I'm building out of the UK. I had an incredible time too at Surfers Against Sewage, and an organization that will always be deep within my heart, doing brilliant things to protect the places that people love, our beaches, our surf spots, the places that people go on holiday or surf, regularly, like I do with my son, Darwin. So all sorts of different things, but find a passion. It's really important. I mean, I would also say to people out there, passion the thing you do can come at any stage. People often will start out early in their lives and they sort of maybe feel like it has to be perfectly sort of formed from the get-go. And it's not that way. For me, I can retrofit this journey that goes way back, and I can sort of make out this sort of perfect journey. And it isn't always that way. There are twists and turns, there are dead ends, there are challenges. Not every day is perfect, and just keep going, keep trying, keep pursuing that thing that you love, because it's out there, and you should spend your time trying to do as many things that you love as possible, particularly around your profession.
Wow, I absolutely love that, and it just reminds me of a word you mentioned at the start, Hugo. You said when you were a young boy, you said like you went out there and you explored things, you tried things out, you just picked things up, you looked at things, you was curious, and like that's similar there about finding your passion, your purpose in life. Like you need to go out there and explore things. Like so many people are afraid to just try things, just to explore, and I think like we should be lifelong learners where we're always open to opportunities and to just be curious about things, because like you mentioned again there, like you never know when, say, your passion or purpose could come right in front of you for you to say, actually, yeah, that's what I want and that is what I want to go after,
For sure. And you shouldn't be afraid to trial and test things. Some things are going to work out really well, some things won't. but you should go for the, go for the things that you really truly feel passionate about. And it may come at any stage, could come early in life. People find their passion later on in life, whenever. Just keep searching. Life is, there for the taking. I feel, very lucky to have had the opportunity to work with so many amazing people, some of whom I see joining on here. Hey, Jonathan. Haven't spoken to Jonathan for a long time. But people have done brilliant that I've led or worked for. People have done things voluntarily. The amazing volunteers who I've got to work with, passionate people in local communities at beaches, from Land's End to John O'Groats. People who are super committed to protecting their local stretch of coastline or their local surf spot. And I love that energy that I feel, and I've always wanted to try and help people find that and create opportunities for them too. Anybody, but young people, old people, but people coming through school, and so it's sort of exciting to help people up on the ladder and to share a bit of the experience you have with others, so they can maybe have a clearer picture of the journey they want to take.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned there about surrounding yourself with other people, say, that are passionate about things. I once heard someone say, it was a friend of mine, or you could even say a mentor of mine. He said, if you want to find your purpose or your passion in life, surround yourself with other people that already know their passions and their purpose. So surround yourself with people that are on a mission, or that are committed or dedicated to improving or helping the world in a better place at all.
Yeah.
Like you, for instance, if you're surrounding yourself with other people that are on a mission to clean the oceans, for instance, without even knowing, you're already surrounding yourself with other people that are going to help you discover what you actually really want and enjoy in life. And in that way as well, it's going to open more doors up to even explore even more things as well. So,
Yeah.
I love what you say there,
And look, and you can get a lot of sort of energy from, people, and share and the environment. All of us at the moment, we all need to think about the choices we're making to live, to live in, in a better way. It's hard sometimes, of course, no one can have no impact, but we can all make choices. We can use our vote in the right way when it comes down to elections. We can use our money in the right way to make good purchases. We can, travel in a way that respects, local cultures and communities. We can engage with people in all sorts of different ways. So, I think you keep making positive choices, and if you're happy with the choices that you make, and you're sort of inspired by what you're doing, invariably people around you are going to be inspired too. They're going to feel that radiating out of you. If you turn up and you're unhappy, then of course that's not necessarily going to be the best for the people around you. So think of it as, try and turn up, person that you'd want to see turning up in front of you, giving energy, being positive, and creating sort of solutions with people around you. So yeah, and I get to do that around the ocean, through surfing, through environmentalism, charities that I've got the really good fortune to work in, and I'm so amazed by the people I see. I was saying, you're in Peru at the moment. We've got an incredible leader in Peru called Danny, who's doing amazing conservation projects. We've got brilliant leaders across South America, Renata in Mexico, and Elizabeth in Chile, people who are protecting vast swathes of the ocean, creating marine protected areas, rewilding effectively parts of the ocean, collaborating with local communities who rely on a healthy sea on a very local level. And that's so important. And I'm learning a lot. I learn from all of the people around me. So yeah, what a privilege.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible, my friend. And it's so important to surround yourself with, say, winners and people with goals and missions in life, because you mentioned it earlier again, like, it's gonna make your journey so much more easier. Even though that you potentially could be working, it doesn't feel like work because you actually enjoy showing up every day and
Yeah.
contributing to, again, a bigger cause, you know.
And don't, you know, also like thinking of sort of the you know, what you can share with others. You know, there's people who might find, you know, things that you know, you think are sort of simple parts of your journey. You know, it's easy to sometimes undervalue like them, and some people around you might not be having such an easy time, might really value just one piece of wisdom you can give them, one piece of advice, one word of support, that makes them go, oh, actually, that, you know, somebody sort of cares, or, you know, that was really useful. And you know, just trying to share a few of those things with people is important. So it's amazing that maybe just a few words can potentially alter somebody's journey. You know, that morning you turn up and you decide to share a few things, you know, that could be the turning point for somebody. I see Adam there, my good friend. Hello, Adam. Yeah, look, so you know, it's a combination of things. I mean, I find this thing, the ocean, is the inspirational thing. You know, I surf as much as I can, and it is something that keeps inspiring me. Riding waves with all sorts of different boards, from surfboards to hand planes to bodyboards with my son. You know, seeking out waves wherever I can find them. You know, exploring new stretches of coastline. You know, finding hidden corners, being in tune with the wind and the tides and the wildlife around us. I mean, it's such a great teacher. The interaction with nature in that way, and that will always give me a, you know, a day-to-day excitement of what I do. And I know that's the same for, you know, some of the people who've joined us tonight, and that's the same for many people around me, that keeps you driven. It probably is what, you know, keeps you driven. I mean, I saw pictures of you, you know, with turtles and different animals in the Galapagos. You know, that's an amazing energy giver. So so yeah, I haven't actually been yet, so I'm gonna have to take some tips from you, you know, when you get back.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, it was absolutely incredible there. And wow, just things that you'd never see anywhere else in the world. And yeah, amazing. So it
Yeah,
just goes to show the importance of protecting the oceans, you know, because
yeah,
there's so much beauty in there. And I see some things that I wouldn't probably see anywhere else in the world. So yeah, it's
yeah,
absolutely incredible, you know.
yeah, yeah. So
So Hugo, I wanted to go on to something that you mentioned earlier about
yeah,
meeting, I'm sure, your hero, but I'm sure the hero of millions of people across the world, Sir David Attenborough. They say sometimes you should never meet your heroes, but I want to ask you, what did it feel like to be in such close proximity to David Attenborough, and how did it make you feel to actually finally meet, say, an idol of yours? You know?
yeah. Look, well, as many people, you know, will share, you know, my sort of abiding sort of memory of watching, you know, his programs when I was a kid, lying on the sofa in front of, you know, in front of the fire at my house in London, actually, watching Life on Earth and the early programs. You know, that will always be deep in my mind. And so I got to meet him a few times over the years, couple of times fleetingly, where I'd probably sort of half not embarrass myself. I just tell him that story, say, oh, you know, you're like a hero, and I used to watch all your programs, sort of thing. And I think he probably gets the same thing from virtually everyone who meets him. But then I founded an awards thing called the Plastic Free Awards a few years ago, which I was really proud to do. And as part of that, we had an award for the lifetime sort of achievement. And, you know, Blue Planet too was one of the big turning points on plastic pollution. And David Attenborough's words, you know, echoed around the world to influence change. I mean, it is amazing that out of the 7 hours of that program, only 14 minutes actually dedicated to plastic pollution. So only a tiny sliver of it was on plastic pollution, but still people think of it as the plastic sort of pollution program. And so we decided that, you know, he, through the judging process, that he was going to be the Lifetime Achievement Award. And we got and I got to go and present him the award in a studio actually in Bristol. It was you know, just a normal day, and we went to the studio and we were there first, and I was sort of nervous, and even, you know, met a fair few, you know, important people, but I was really nervous about meeting David Attenborough. And then he came into the studio, and he was very down to earth, and we had a chat, and I presented him the award and told him more about it, and we had a really good lovely conversation, and got some photos, and talked a bit about, you know, our campaigns on plastics at the time. But it was amazing. It sort of brought a tear to my eye. I mean, like, I would say absolutely, you know, try and meet your heroes, and you know, just manage your expectations. But my expectations were exceeded, and, you know, what a great, you know, what a great person. I mean, a household, you know, sort of legend, somebody who, you know, is such a hugely trusted voice, you know, in broadcasting. And we're seeing it now in the Wild Isles, you know, this amazing new series that, you know, that's broadcast around the country, and shows, even in our most depleted country in terms of nature, just how much there is to fight to protect. Orcas feeding in the Orkney Islands, you know, puffin colonies, murmurations of starlings, you know, amazing creatures that we still have here. So even where there's not much nature left, the nature we have is so worth fighting for, and is so worth restoring these ecosystems and this beauty around us.
Wow, man, such beautiful words that you just said there. And, like, you know, it made me think just then. Like you said, like, a lot of the nature has been depleted, is the word that you used. But you said the nature that we do have left is so worth fighting for, you know. And, like, I just want to compare it to people in their life. Like, people get to a point in their life sometimes where they want to give up on themselves because they think that they don't have enough left to fight for. But from what you just mentioned there, it just reminds me of, like, even us as humans, like, we could be in a real shit situation, or feel like we've hit rock bottom, but there's always something to fight for. So, Hugo, I'd love to know your opinion on that. For anyone watching that maybe feels like they've got nothing left to go for, or they got nothing worth to get up in the morning for, or something to chase after, what could you say to them, anyone listening now?
Yeah, look, I mean, look, look, just on the planetary issue, let me just start with that, because that's to just unpack that. You know, we do live in a challenging time for nature, for biodiversity. There's a crisis out there. But I sort of remark on this fixation with space travel, the multi-billionaires and certain people have, and how excited they get when they potentially see the long lost traces of water on, say, Mars, with nothing else but a trace. And you go, imagine if they turned up on a planet that had the abundance we've still got on this planet. It would just blow their minds. So we've got so much worth protecting. We should not be looking for life on Mars necessarily. We should be looking at the life we've got on this planet, and we should be protecting it with everything we've got. You know, this is the best opportunity to maintain our, you know, amazing, civilization, I suppose. You know, in terms of what you said with people, and people go through challenging times, and I know plenty of people that do, and I try to talk to them about that where I can, offer any type of help, but it's not always that simple. But I mean, it is worth saying that we're all, as human beings that got to be born, we're all like miracles as it stands. And so it's an amazing thing just to be in the world. That's easy maybe from my vantage point, and, you know, that's not always the way it will be for people in their minds and in their thinking. But I would say that, you know, everyone has got a unique story and a unique opportunity, and if you are struggling, reach out and talk to people. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, the world needs more of, you know, people supporting each other and talking to each other. So, you know, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychotherapist, but I know that sharing things with people is a good way of trying to solve solve issues.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And again, it just reminds me of something that you mentioned earlier about just helping people just from your own words, because so many people sort of impound their importance. They don't think that what they have to share could potentially help another person, you know, like just saying one piece of advice or one piece of wisdom that you've gained from maybe a challenge that you've gone through in your life, or even just a kind comment. You know, one kind comment might not change the world, but saying it to that one person that needs it, it might just change their world. So never, ever hold something inside of you for the sake of, say, embarrassment or the fear that it's not valued from somebody else, because you never know who's listening and for who potentially might need to hear that, you know?
Yeah, look, and yeah, just see how you can help people. I mean, helping people is good. So yeah, look, I agree with that, and you know, words of wisdom and making time for people. And look, we live in a very comparative world, and social media does it, and all of these things. People see incredible lives and things people have, and you know, they assume everyone's just doing brilliantly, you know, and it's all fake world, that they're looking at. And like, what really counts is your, you know, personal, quite close ecosystem around your friends and family, and making time for them, and trying to be happy. And a lot of the stuff is wrong. I mean, even the jobs we do, and I'm, you know, proud of the jobs that I've been able to do and get to do, and you know, many people are, but the job is not what defines you, and it should be how you are with other people, and how you know, how you find happiness in life. And jobs can be part of that, but it's not everything. You will come into jobs, you will move through jobs, and you will move on, and somebody else will come along and do them, and you know, that's all good. And like, you know, how happy are you day to day? What are those daily gifts that you find? How are you you know, helping other people? How are you, you know, turning up in your life? How are you, you know, being connected with people? So you know, lots of you know, different things to think about there. But this whole sort of world we live in of comparison and competition and fake, you know, beauty and facsimiles of life is not right. And you know, we've seen the extremes with horrific people like Andrew Tate, and you know, that side of things. And just don't fall for it. This is the fake world. The real world is yours to dictate and control and to be part of.
Wow, yeah. And again, amazing words of wisdom there from you, Hugo. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. So Hugo, as we sort of come to an end on this, I go through with all of my guests sort of 5 quick questions.
Yeah.
So if it's okay, we'll get started on the questions.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Hopefully we can pull some nuggets out again for the viewers also. So I want to start with number 1, which is, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received, and why?
Well, that's a good one. What's the best piece of advice I've ever received? Look, that's a good question. I've had lots of amazing people help me through my life, which is you know, special, and I'm grateful to all of them. And I've learned a lot from different, you know, different sort of sources. And it's hard to pinpoint one sort of, you know, granule of information that I've taken. But you know, I think this sort of this bit of advice, you know, turning up as the person you'd want to sort of want to be, your best self. You know, try and find who your best self is. You know which person you want to turn up in the room. You know, who do people want to see? And no one wants to see the grumpy or the sort of the narked off person. So how do you create that person? Think about how you create the person you want to be. It could be that you need more time for yourself, you need to do sport, you need to sleep better, you need to eat a bit more, you need to have gone and seen your grandma because that's nagging you, and so if you don't do it, you're gonna then not turn out right. But just do the things that construct the best person that you can be, and then turn up like that, because it's not just about, you know, going to work or being somewhere. It's about how you are yourself. So you know, try and work out those conditions. For me, like, I love doing sport, and I have to do sport, and that just helps me turn up and be excited and motivated, you know, and get stuff done. So yeah, everyone has their different things. Maybe it's eating carrots, maybe it's going for a beer with your friends, whatever it might be, but there'll be something.
Wow, yeah, it's so true, and it's so important, you know, like, it goes back to what we were talking earlier, maybe like about energy and stuff. Like, energy is contagious. Like, people can tell when you're not your best self.
Yeah.
They can tell when you're not feeling sort of like you want to be a part of something or involved. Like, if you're in a job that you don't enjoy and you're just showing up just for the sake of taking the wage each week or each month, people can see that, because you're not excited, or you've got no drive inside of you. But if you're showing up, like, right, I'm going to do this because I enjoy doing this, and I want to do this, it almost creates like an aura around you. Like, people can see it shining off of you. So there's a quote that says, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." Like, you need to show up as your best self, because then hopefully somebody else may see you being your best version and then be inspired to do the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I would say, as part of that, you can think, you know, what is an inside or an outside feeling. Sometimes we can feel really stressed, and we can feel maybe people are judging us, or things are outside of us. But sometimes it is, you just got to reflect and think that's actually an inside feeling. And I'll give you an example of why that, you know, you can feel maybe anxious or stressed, and maybe go for a run or a swim, and then feel completely different afterwards, because you've flooded your body with endorphins, you've broken down the stress hormones, you've changed your own chemistry. And actually, then suddenly you don't feel the same levels of stress or anxiety about the world around you. And the world around you hasn't changed at all in that period. What you've done is just change your chemistry inside. And so how do you get to that sort of point? And, you know, I just think everyone will have their different way of doing it, but that's my word of advice.
Yeah, that's brilliant, you know, because I believe it's Tony Robbins, his quote is, motion creates emotion. Like, when we, like you say, we can get up, we go for a run, go for a walk, a swim, and once your inside starts changing, you feel better about yourself. So if you're sat at home feeling shit and you're not doing anything, you're gonna remain the same.
Yeah.
So I want to go on to the next question, which would be, what is the worst piece of advice you have ever received and acted on, and what was the result?
I don't know. Probably loads. I've probably been to too many parties that I shouldn't have gone to. I don't know. Like, I couldn't. I think that, you know, the human mind has an ability to, like, see the past through rose-tinted spectacles. So I've filtered out those ones, and I see a lovely, seamless journey that's led me to a good place. But I'm sure there was plenty of bad advice I got over time. But it's not worth naming names or even bringing that advice back up.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And thank you as well so much. So the next question is, like, for me personally, I believe, like, when we're growing up, we get, say, taught a lot of things from the people around us, say society, the news, family members.
Yeah.
So as much as learning new things is a big part of our, say, human progress or process, an even bigger part, I believe, sometimes is unlearning the stuff that we learned through childhood, growing up. So if you had something that you can think maybe off the top of your head, what is something that you had to unlearn growing up through childhood into your adulthood?
Look, I think everyone should always try and keep challenging their, like, comfort zone, and you know, embracing change. You know, change can be, like, uncomfortable and everything, but I think you've got to, you know, it's all too easy, you know, to settle into a groove that becomes extremely comfortable and never shift out of that. And I think, you know, you've got to sort of, at some stages in your life, unlearn comfort and then regain it. And that's, you know, part of the, the sort of growth thing. So I think it's good to challenge yourself and to not just stay in and get stuck in any ruts, even if the rut is very comfortable and well furnished and has all of the things you need in it. Maybe it's time to look elsewhere, because life comes and goes quickly, and I think you probably want to keep evolving things. And like, I'll give you example, like when I've moved around. I moved to Cornwall 15 years ago, and the first couple of years were really challenging, some discomfort, reevaluating where I was, what I was doing, and new job, and various like things happening simultaneously. And there were some challenges, but it also helped me evolve as a person. So yeah, keep moving, keep trying things, keep being excited, try and find the thing that makes you excited.
Yeah, I absolutely love that about keep evolving and changing and trying new places. Like, because obviously we're talking about you and your journey, Hugo, and about the ocean. I want to mention something. You might be able to help me out here. So
Yeah.
I heard a podcast a while back, and they mentioned about, say, pushing yourselves outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And they compared it to either a hermit crab or a lobster. And they said, like, I think even on the lobster, they said that the body or the shell of a lobster, it's actually like, I think similar to a bone maybe, and they have to regrow it. They have to break their old shell or body to then be able to regrow a new one. And I don't know how often this happens, 6 or 8 months every year. I can't really remember the facts and the figures. But these crabs or these lobsters, they have to keep changing their home,
Yeah.
it could be their body or their shell, and they got to keep moving and keep progressing.
Yeah.
If they stay in that rut, like you said, of the comfort zone, it's going to be uncomfortably comfortable, because imagine a lobster inside their own body, inside their own shell, and they're growing bigger, but they can't break free of it because they're not choosing to push themselves past that barrier. It's going to be so stiff and so uncomfortable and so tight in there. So yeah, I love what you mentioned there.
Yeah, I mean, I think loosely I was half compared to a lobster there, which I'll take, because a lobster is like an amazing creature. And yeah, look, they keep growing, and they have to shed their exoskeletons and then grow, and that's sort of cool. So yeah, I do think change is sort of good, and lots of people think about things they might want to do and change they might want to have, and they never get round to doing it. And look, it is easy from a place of privilege to a degree, where you have opportunity, and not everyone has opportunity, because it's not equally spread around the world, even around the country or around the county where I live. But where you do have the opportunity, and you can sort of change things and seek out the next stages of your life, that is amazing, because too many people never get round to the dream, and then the change or trying something, and then they don't get the chance because the ride ends. So
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this so much about like waiting. Sometimes people are waiting for the perfect time to get started. There is no perfect time. Like, now is the only time to.
No, there is no perfect time. You wait. Perfect is the enemy of the good. Perfect is the enemy of getting stuff done. Turn up with the right attitude, get stuff done. Keep moving, keep making decisions. Don't procrastinate too much. It'll all be good. No one's looking to trip you up. Keep moving, keep being committed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and yeah, I agree with every single thing that you said there. So the next question would be, what is the greatest lesson that you learned from one of your most painful life experiences?
Look, what is the greatest lesson I learned? I think, from all of the lessons, all of the challenges you have, I would just say to people, be like nice, just keep being nice. Like, you just try and, deal with being genuine and nice to people. And, you get some, challenges through life, and you can, react in a number of ways, but just, keep being nice. That's it.
Yeah, keep being nice. I love that. And I think like nice, you could say is kindness. And like nowadays, I feel like kindness is the new cool. Like, it's actually cool to be kind to people. So Yeah,
No, right.
you can never go wrong by being nice to other people, because you never know when
Not
you
at
may
all.
need someone to be nice or kind to you as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Exactly. We all need it. We all need it. No matter how tough and hard people appear on the outside, everyone needs people to be nice to them.
Yeah, and again, it's going to make the world such a better place
Yeah.
by just one person, say, being nice to another person as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I want to go to the final question now, Hugo, if it's okay, which would be, knowing what you know now, knowing what you know now, what one piece of advice could you maybe give to your younger self?
Um, uh, yeah, what would it be? It's hard because, like anything you do to change the course of your life, you might not end up where you are. But let's not take that, too sort of seriously. There was a time, there's sort of a couple of regrets on the sports front when I had an opportunity to to go a bit harder and push myself beyond my, what I thought my sort of ability was. Particularly, I was sort of a good athlete as a kid, and I remember my trainer saying I should go to do triathlons, and I refused to sort of follow that path, and I sort of feel that I would have loved to have done that earlier on. I mean, I love sea swimming, not big distances, but enough distance, and I love running, and the combination with a bit of biking would have been great. But I'd say, follow. I probably would have said follow my passion sooner, but I got there soon enough, and I've got to do amazing things with them. So, I would just say follow your passion.
Yeah, wow, and thank you, Hugo, so much. I
No
feel like
problem.
many people should take a lot away from what you said today. So
Well, I hope
thank you
there's
for being
something.
here.
I hope there's something in there. And look, it's been really nice to talk to you, Ryan. And you've got an amazing story and amazing energy to you too. And I've been wanting to talk, or come on and chat to you for a while. So thanks for all you're doing. Keep great trip. Person at some stage for a beer.
Yeah, no, definitely, my friend. And yeah, thank you so much for your
No worries.
kind words and support as always. So, Hugo, as we sort of end this now, and before we go, for anyone that's say listening to this or will listen to this after, what can somebody do to say reach out, support you, follow your journey, and just to understand and know a bit more about you and what you're doing in the world?
Well, look, anyone can follow me on Twitter, at Hugo SAS. I do a lot of communication there. They can follow me on LinkedIn. I update a lot of things there, sort of profession in about the issues I work on. Keep a watch out for Oceania campaigns in the UK, but also around the world. Many things coming up. And if you're ever on the beach in Cornwall, you may well bump into me. Say hi if you do. I'm around, and I look forward to seeing you in the water, on the beach, or along the coast path somewhere in the UK or further afield.
Here we go. Amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. And yeah, I really do appreciate you. And
No
everybody,
worries.
you've heard what Hugo said. Go and follow him. Go and check out his journey, because it's absolutely incredible. And it's so important for me, you, and everybody else on this wonderful world that we live in. So, Hugo, thank you so much for being here, my
Thank you.
friend. And I'll speak to you soon.
Have a good day. See you soon,
Thank
Ryan.
you, my
Take
friend.
care.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.